Alright everybody, here we are today. We have the SnapMaker 2.0 power module. In case you have been using yours a lot, like I have, they do have a tendency to get dirty. With dirt, they need cleaning. I do know it says that you're not supposed to take it apart, but I mean seriously, are you supposed to send in and have them clean it? I'm going to get this little power module taken apart today and check this out. Here we go. Alright, so I did get the back cover of the power module off. Skipped over a step for you guys just to kind of get to it. There's 4 main screws to get the plate loosened, and then there's 4 more screws with nuts on the back to get the fan off, as you can see here. And you can also see the amount of dirt that is in the motor. It's pretty bad. So around here, the power button, the power supply port, everything, you can just see. That's gross. That's gross. You don't want that in there. You can get a lot of stuff in the air. You can have carbon content built up with dust. Humidity can lead to shorts. So it's good to just not have anything in there. We're going to get these 4 screws out on the back. This is going to loosen up the casing from the power module interior itself. Screw number 3. Number 4. Now we're going to go ahead and pick this up. Just ever so lightly pull this out. Here is the interior to the power module. You see the capacitors on the side there, circuitry to the front, ports. I didn't really know what to expect exactly when I pulled this out, but it really wasn't quite this. Definitely interesting. Some power information on there. It does also tell you some on the back of the casing for the power module itself. Overall, I'm not going to mess with this too much. This does look pretty clean, regardless of how dirty the vents are on it at this point in time. So we're going to make this just the vent cleaning only. Little dust, not terrible. Definitely could be a lot more dirty before I'd be worried about it. Also, there's possibility I gotta check into looking to see if there's anything inside of this when I take the screws off, if something's gonna move, if there's any seals or whatever. Make sure I'm not voiding any warranties on this. It does say on the back of the casing, do not take it apart, but I am anyway. Now here's the front vent, smacking it down here after I've tried rinsing it, and you can see just the amount of grime and filth that's coming off on it. There's a lot, so got some out of it there, but I'm going to go ahead and rinse it off by hand anyway to try to get the rest of this out. That's pretty bad. You don't ever want it to be this bad. So the back here, same thing, not terrible. Decent amount of grime built up on the little screen for the motor vent there. I'm going to go ahead and rinse that off as well. Now the inside of the casing here for the power module, you can see there is a decent amount of dust. So with that, I'm just going to take and use a wet paper towel. You can use water, rubbing alcohol, whatever you feel the need to use. Myself personally, I prefer rubbing alcohol. It evaporates a lot faster, doesn't leave any residue, and water and electrics just don't work. So get that wiped out a little bit. See, it looks a lot better now. Now this part here, we are going to take the casing and put it back over the interior. There are 5 screws directly on this side to the bottom of it. You have the 4 in the middle and the one on the left hand side there that you can see in the middle at the end. As I'm putting this back together, I'm going to use the screw hole at the outside end, because it's right there, I can move it up, to lightly snugging that down and hopefully bring the board back up towards the casing. That way there's not such a gap between the interior and the outside of the casing. The screws on these are not very long, and I don't want to try to do it upside down, accidentally drop it or anything like that. Sometimes I am clumsy, so next step, we're going to get these 4 screws in here. Just try to push that up a little, get it straightened out. That looks good. And until I get all 4 of them in, I don't want to over tighten them. Could move it, shift it. I want everything to be nice and square. These are flathead cap screws, not socket heads, so they are kind of self-seating and should bring the circuitry up snug with the top/bottom of the casing, but I still don't want to over torque it or put any extra strain on anything that doesn't need it. Tighten down the final screw, switch over and tighten up the little one at the end one more time. If you don't get this exactly snug, the thing is not going to fly away, it's not going to fall off the shelf or whatever, but it is good just to have things sturdy. Next part of this, we're going to get the fan hooked back up on the rear panel before we get it put back on the casing. Don't want to forget the screen. Mine did fall off. I thought it was glued on. It's not. But we're going to get this motor here clean, like I was talking with the rubbing alcohol. Just go around the inside of it. Hit the housing, hit the fan itself. Make sure the blades are clean, both sides. Get off the excess alcohol real quick. Nice solid white. Make sure you get all the corners, every angle. There's no sense in tearing it apart to clean it halfway. And do the outside of the casing, or the inside of it, the outside wall of it though, where the fan is at. Rub this around. You can see how disgusting that is. That's just the casing on the fan. That is horrible. I should not have let this get that bad. That is purely disgusting. So with it being that bad, I'm going to go ahead and use the other end of the Q-tip and see if there's any extra residue that needs to come out of there. And there is a decent amount. Yeah. Shame on me for letting this get that bad, but sometimes we get forgetful. Just gonna rub it a little bit more and just try to get any around the outside edge there. Make sure it's nice and clean. I'm not too sure why they were so adamant about not wanting this taken apart. If you do read the back of your power module, it says specifically right there, don't take it apart. But I get it, you know, some people might decide to try to be all brainiac with it and try to modify it or whatever. It does also say to be used with snap maker only, so somebody might get an epiphany and decide that they're going to try to hook it up to their Ender 5 or something like that. I'm not a not a code writer, I'm not a tech on this. I just like to play around. Good-natured hobby. So, and I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I wouldn't play with it. So we're gonna get the bolts and the nuts back on. One. Continue with the last three. I did kind of put this on an awkward way, so I gotta use the tooling backwards here in a second. Use your 2.0. Small pliers on the other side. You don't want to over tighten it. The casing on this fan is plastic. It can crack. You don't want that. You'll have a horrible vibration and rattle. I just keep looking at that toothpick, or that I just keep looking at that Q-tip, and it is so disgusting. I cannot believe how black that was, how dirty that fan was. Also, I do not have this in an enclosure. This is just open. So anytime I happen to do the laser engraving on it, the smoke is open. Try to give it a little distance away from it, but there's only so far you can go. This is a pretty simple task to do. Whether or not you decide to do it, I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm saying if you wanted to do it, that this is how I would do it. If you happen to do this and something goes wrong, I don't know. I'm not accountable for it. I did it the easiest way possible, and this is back together now. So here we go. We have the box all put together. We're going to put the final two screws in the bottom. Get everything situated and out of the way, and this is a done project. We have the gross Q-tip there. The power module is all back together. Hope you enjoyed this. This was Thumb Hobby, cleaning out the crap of the Snapmaker Power Module 2.0. Got a decent amount out here. I'm glad we finally did get in there and managed to get that removed. But it is done, so on to bigger and better things. We'll have another video up soon. This is complete. Have a good day.